A lot has been happening in Uganda, but most importantly, what has been happening is the protesters who have taken it upon themselves to march to Parliament on the 23rd of July 2024 and march to Parliament stating that they are tired of corruption. They're tired of the deep-seated, rooted corruption that has robbed our country for so long. Now, in today's video edition of Legal News Daily, I'm here to discuss what are the major implications and what are the procedure for the protesters who have been abducted. We need to keep in mind that the protesters had gotten consent from police and this was a peaceful protest, and we need to understand if they have been arrested, if they have been abducted, what is the major legal implication behind all of this. So today's edition of Legal News Daily, let's briefly look at what is going to happen to the protesters, whether they're going to go and face trial, and what are the big implications for Uganda moving forward. So let's discuss all of this on Legal News Daily and let's see this moving forward. Welcome to Legal News Daily. My name is Counsel Terry Kahuma, the usual host on Legal News Daily and the bigger platform Simply Legal by Terry Kahuma. So please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, please share this video with everyone who you know will love this information. This video could be useful to the protesters, or it could be useful to the abducted and arrested protesters who may need legal representation moving forward. To add on that, I have my legal mobile app called Famiron, which connects people and lawyers together, offering so many services, including bailing the arrested and abducted protesters who have been taken to remand. So let's go. Now, brief fact. Like I said, there has been a lot of corruption in Uganda since time immemorial. And much as the concerned parties, such as the president and the different executive who are trying to clamp down on corruption, the members of parliament who have been corrupt have been taken to court and they are now currently facing trial. However, the youth, the energized youth in Uganda have taken it upon themselves to be able to say, you know what, we are tired of the deep-seated corruption in Uganda. Our roads have potholes, our hospitals are not doing well, so therefore let's march to parliament and then protest against the corrupt officials. Now, there are major key issues for the protest. Number one, they wanted the Speaker of Parliament, Anita, to resign. Yes, they want her to resign because she has been at the heart and center of deep-rooted corruption in Uganda. Number two, they want all the members of parliament who have been involved in corruption to be taken to prison because they're currently facing trial, but the bleeding citizens are saying that, you know what, as a result of wiring $4,000 to Anita account, that $4,000 would have done well on our roads. So the protesters are moving and marching with a lot of anger, with a lot of hurting in their hearts. So basically they moved to parliament. Now those are the brief facts. Now the protesters were arrested and then taken to different police stations such as Arua Park police station. I also saw recently, or just in that, they were taken to Nakawa Magistrates Court for processing. Now, I just wanted to give briefly what the procedure is for when you've been arrested. I've done so many controversial videos on arrests and what the procedure is in terms of arrest warrants and everything, but I'll leave the links in the description below. However, to make the brief story short, let's start from the protesters. The fact that they had engaged police, the fact that they had spoken to police and said, you know what, under Article 29, it is well within our right as Ugandans to be able to congregate, to be able to have an assembly where we can have a peaceful protest about something that we are not liking happening in our country. So, indeed, they did that. About 3 weeks ago, they engaged police. They told them that, you know what, we're going to have a peaceful protest on 23rd of July 2024, and it's for this reason. Police was a bit wishy-washy about it, meaning they did not give them a very firm go-ahead, or they did not refuse them. They just said there that, okay, do not cause any public nuisance. So they went ahead and did it. They exercised their rights under Article 29. Now, they went for the peaceful protest. They were arrested. But the fact that they did not damage any property, they were just holding their planks up and saying, you know what, we are protesting against government. We are protesting for the deep-seated corruption that has been happening in the country. They were arrested, they were abducted. Now, what is the law on arrest? Arrests are governed by the Magistrates Court Act, they are governed by the Trial and Indictment Act, and most importantly, Article 23 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Now, what does Article 23 of the Constitution say? It says that any person shall be arrested if a police person has reasonable cause or grounds to be able to arrest them. Now, I think we can see that the arrests were actually wrong from the start. If someone has said that we're going to have a peaceful protest, then why go ahead and arrest them? Because it is against the law, it is illegal. This person has not fought against police. I saw the different pictures and videos against the people who are being arrested. All the protesters who are being arrested were being held like this, but they were not resisting arrest. They were then bundled up on the police trucks and then they were taken on remand. Some of them were taken to known sites, others to unknown sites. So I've looked at the Constitution. Article 23 talks about arrest, talks about bail, and also arrests are governed by the Trial and Indictment Act, the Magistrates Courts Act, and most importantly, the Constitution, like I've already said. Now, we need to see that this arrest was indeed illegal. Even when you look at the Police Act, the Trial and Indictment Act, Act and the Magistrates Courts Act, you need to arrest someone with reasonable cause, because if you're saying that you do not need an arrest warrant to be able to arrest someone, you need reasonable cause. Now, what is this reasonable cause? Reasonable cause means that the police who are standing by the protesters must have figured out that these protesters are going to cause a lot of riots and everything. Now, people are saying that Ugandans were copying from the Kenyans, but indeed they're not copying from Kenyans. The Kenyans have their own issues, the Ugandans have their own issues. So, and you can see the arrests were wrong from word go. The police did not have any arrest warrants to be able to arrest these protesters. The protesters were not rioting. They did not give them any reasonable cause for them to be able to arrest them. So, the arrests were illegal. Now, once an arrest is done, the person is taken on remand. What is remand? First of all, they take you to police custody. They're supposed to be able to read to you exactly what your crime is, why you've committed this crime, and they're supposed to read to you what your rights are. Now, let's go back to Article 23 of the Constitution. Article 23 states that any person who has been arrested lawfully by police or unlawfully, for this case, you have a right to apply for bail. Now, we have what is called police bond and we have what's called bail. I did a further video on that. I won't leave the link in the description below. But basically, once you've been taken on remand, your court case has started. Then they're supposed to put you on remand. And once they put you on remand, there you're now going through court processing, meaning that you're now regarded as a suspect, you're regarded as an impending criminal, and you're now facing trial. Now, many may be asking, what are the different cases or offenses that they have put on these people? Number one, they're saying that they're charging them for public nuisance, and they're charging them for being idle and disorderly. Now, according to the laws of Uganda, especially Penal Code Act and also the Trial and Indictment Act, these crimes are looked at what are called misdemeanors. They are what are called misdemeanors: public nuisance and also being idle and disorderly. Because the public protest, they're saying that while they were standing there, they were inciting so many people. So these are seen as misdemeanors. Now, I've explained the difference between a felony and a misdemeanor. Felony is a very, very huge crime which deserves a very capital punishment, like let's say murder, manslaughter, whatever it is. Misdemeanor are these smaller crimes like a traffic ticket, public nuisance for this case. So I think you can see the crimes that they're putting on these people are not so heavy. They're not so big to warrant them going on remand. I still think the procedure of this arrest was actually wrong, and I think at this point they may actually have to be released. So once they put you on remand, the laws of Uganda under Article 23 of the Constitution still talk about arrest, and they talk about putting someone on remand. Now, what is remand? Remand is that time period under which someone is put in custody. You're like in an in-between period. You're not free, you're not under, you're not in prison. So you're just kept there awaiting a future trial. So these people have been put on remand, waiting until May 30th, and let's just see where everything is going to go. Another big issue is that we need to look at what's called the 48-hour rule. Now, if these people were peacefully protesting and the police said, okay, under reasonable suspicion, we have been able to take them police custody or remand. Under the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, we have the 48-hour rule and criminal law in general. The 48-hour rule basically states that you are not supposed to keep someone in police custody or on remand or jail for more than 48 hours if you've just recently arrested them. So when you've just recently arrested someone, you do not take them to courts of law immediately. Under the 48-hour rule, you're supposed to take them to, you're supposed to keep them there. Either their family or friends can get them out on police bond, or you present them to court. And now that is what's called the writ of habeas corpus, or the right of habeas corpus, meaning you're allowed to bring the body to court. So the magistrate also needs to consider all of this while they are imprisoning these protesters or putting them on remand. So I wanted to explain all of that to you. Please, let's just see where everything is going to go. I think in the future, these protesters are going to need lawyers, definitely, to be able to either get them police bond or to get them bail, especially bail. I've talked about the different grounds of bail, such as good conduct, such as the nature of the offense, and most importantly, we need to look at whether this person is a first-time offender. Most of these protesters were not even offending anyone. They had really requested for a peaceful protest. So we need to see if they were well within their right under Article 29 of the Constitution. Did they deserve to have been imprisoned, arrested, and humiliated in front of the entire country? Let's just see how everything goes. And I think at the end of the day, the country of Uganda needs to realize that arresting these protesters is not solving the problem. The bigger problem is to be able to resolve corruption, is to be able to stop corruption entirely, or at least stop it to the point that we are killing our entire society. Well, let's just say everything is going to move forward. I'm your truly Terry Kahuma. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and please log on to the Family app. These protesters may actually need this app moving forward, because you never know, they may actually face more trial for being a public nuisance in courts and also being idle and disorderly for these small misdemeanors. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye-bye.